Why did 2016 nostalgia become internet history so quickly? The answer is not that 2016 was simple. It is almost the opposite. People remember it as a cleaner internet moment because it sits right before several changes became impossible to ignore. Politics felt louder online. Platforms felt more algorithmic. Short-form culture started shifting. And everyday internet life began to feel less like a playground and more like infrastructure. Start with the hook. When viewers search for 2016 again, they are usually not asking for one event. They are searching for a feeling. They remember Pokémon Go crowds in the street, Vine's final era, early meme culture, music trends, old Instagram layouts, and a version of online life that seemed smaller. But history is useful here because nostalgia compresses complicated years into a mood. The job is to unpack the mood without pretending the year was actually peaceful. The first mechanism is platform memory. In 2016, a lot of internet culture still felt human-scaled. People followed accounts, checked feeds, shared clips, and watched memes move across platforms in ways that felt traceable. At the same time, recommendation systems and engagement incentives were becoming more powerful. The feed was already changing, but many viewers remember the moment before the change felt permanent. That is why 2016 becomes a marker. It feels like the last room before the hallway turned into a machine. A concrete scene helps. Picture a group of people walking through a park for Pokémon Go. The game was digital, but the behavior was physical. People gathered, wandered, and talked to strangers because a phone screen pulled them into the same street. That image matters because it captures a specific kind of internet optimism. The idea that online systems could still push people into shared real-world play. It was not the whole truth of 2016, but it became a memorable scene. Now compare that with another 2016 scene, a newsfeed full of political arguments, Brexit, the United States election, misinformation debates, and platform responsibility all made the internet feel less innocent. The same systems that helped jokes and games spread also helped anger, confusion, and identity battles spread. That is the second mechanism. A platform that feels fun when it spreads a dance or meme can feel dangerous when it spreads distrust. In recent history, 2016 is remembered as a year when many people noticed that shift. The third mechanism is format loss. Vine is important here because it represents a lost internet rhythm. 6-second loops trained people to expect sharp setups, punchlines, and repeated watching. When Vine disappeared, the behavior did not disappear. It migrated. TikTok, YouTube Shorts, Reels, and other formats later turned short looping video into a much larger business. So when people miss Vine era 2016, they are not only missing one app, they are missing the feeling of a format before it became fully industrialized. That is why nostalgia can be misleading. It chooses the softest evidence. It remembers the interface, the songs, the jokes, and the games, while pushing aside the anxiety, harassment, political conflict, and platform manipulation that were already present. A good history episode has to hold both truths at once. 2016 can feel like a lost internet summer, and 2016 can also be a warning sign. The emotional memory and the historical mechanism are not the same thing. The stronger explanation is that 2016 sits at a hinge point. Before it, many users could still imagine the internet as a collection of sites, apps, friend groups, and fandoms. After it, more people began to see the internet as a public system that shapes elections, markets, childhood, celebrity, news, and trust. That shift did not happen in one day. It had roots in earlier years and consequences after 2016. But the year is useful because it gives memory a handle. This is where recent history becomes real history. We usually imagine history as old documents, black and white photos, wars, treaties, and museum objects. But history is also the moment when a society realizes that yesterday's normal has become evidence. A screenshot of an old app layout can become an artifact. A vanished platform can become a primary source. A meme can show what people found funny, anxious, or believable at the time. The archive does not have to be ancient to matter. For viewers, the practical lesson is to separate 3 layers. First, there is the personal memory, what 2016 felt like to you. Second, there is the platform layer, what the apps, algorithms, and formats were doing. Third, there is the public history layer, how politics, media, and trust were changing around those platforms. Nostalgia usually starts in the first layer, but a useful explainer should move through all 3. The trust boundary matters too. We should not claim that everything changed because of one year. We should not pretend that 2016 was the beginning of every modern problem. The safer claim is narrower and stronger. 2016 became a symbol because many visible internet shifts gathered around it. Games moved people through cities. Short video lost one home and prepared for another. Political feeds became harder to ignore. Memes felt powerful, but also less harmless. That is also why 2016 nostalgia keeps coming back in short videos. It gives viewers an immediate feeling and a question at the same time. Why did that era feel different? Why do old screenshots hit harder than they should? Why does a song, a game, or an app logo suddenly feel like a historical artifact? The answer is that the internet changed from a place people visited into a system people lived inside. The visual story should follow that movement. Start with a phone showing a 2016 style feed. Cut to a Pokemon Go street crowd. Cut to the Vine logo or a short loop editing screen. Then show a newspaper front page about Brexit or the 2016 election. Not to take a partisan side, but to show that online culture and public life were colliding. Then return to the feed and ask the real question. What did the internet teach people to expect after that year? The takeaway is simple. 2016 nostalgia is not only about missing old memes. It is about remembering a hinge moment before the modern feed felt fully locked in. The past feels close because the screenshots are recent, but it feels far away because the internet's social role changed. That is why 2016 can already function like history. It gives us a way to see how platforms, politics, memory, and youth culture turned into the online world people now take for granted. If this helped the trend make sense, please like the video and subscribe for more History First explainers. This channel uses current signals as doors into the past, because the fastest way to understand a feed is often to ask what changed before it. If this helped the trend make sense, please like the video and subscribe for fast, no fluff explainers. I'll see you in the next one.